Good morning, class. Are you all there? Seniors? Seniors are all there? Yeah. I have sent you one more presentation. Smile, please, as usual. We begin our classes with a very big smile. Smile, everybody, end to end. Ready? Okay. Yesterday, I was speaking to you about international trade theories. The one theory I thought we should do today, get ready, class, this is very important. The one theory that I need to do today is Porter's National Competitive Advantage Theory. All right. Go to slide number 23 in yesterday's PowerPoints. Everybody, slide number 23. Michael Porter is a professor from UK. He has made important theory which says Porter's National Competitive Advantage Theory. He says success in international trade comes from the interaction of four country specific and four firm specific elements. What are these elements? We will talk about. They are country specific. He says country specific means specific to that country. Firm specific means specific to that firm. What is this? The first one, he says, is factor conditions. Factor conditions are the resources of a nation, all right? What they have. See, when you have money, you have power, isn't it? Because money can buy a lot of things. And money can help you stand alone. You don't require many kind of help, other kind of help, or you can buy the help. Yeah, you can pay for the help. Similarly, when a country has, say, oil, they have bargaining power. You understand? Many people require oil. Many countries, crude oil is something that countries are crazy about because it is like this. When crude oil is in a country, they use the oil for industrialization. When a country does industrialization, they realize they require more crude oil, and industrialization gives them money. They use this money for finding more oil in their country, for digging, for oil rigs, etc. So they become more powerful. It is again a virtuous cycle. Morning, everybody. Yeah, it is again a virtuous cycle. I repeat, see, when a country has oil, they use it for industrialization. When they use it for industrialization, industrialization helps them sell their products and they get money and they become more powerful. So, with the money power, they dig for more oil, get more oil, and they do not look, and it continues. See, when OPEC was formed with 11 countries in 1969, I think, why it was formed is for two or three reasons. It is a commodity cartel. All right. OPEC is a commodity cartel organization of petrol exporting countries. Now, why was OPEC formed? OPEC is a commodity cartel that this thing sells or is concerned with crude oil. Now, I told you about crude oil. Crude oil has certain benchmarks. WTI, West Texas Intermediate in the United States, the oil that you get there, is, good morning, Emma, is one benchmark oil. I'll explain what is a benchmark oil. Similarly, Dubai crude is another benchmark oil. So is North Sea Brent. That is the oil got to in UK near, I don't know, North Sea in UK. I'm not very geographically strong there. Good morning, my one. All right. So, what is the meaning of these benchmark oils? See, these oils have certain quality. Now, suppose say India makes finds some crude oil. Then we compare it to one of these oils. Say we compare it to Dubai crude, and we say if Dubai crude is selling at $100 a barrel, how much we can sell it for? Now the question comes like this: how do we decide whether our oil is of that standard or lower or higher? See, crude oil has sulfur content. All right. Now, if the sulfur content is greater than 0.5%, I think, let's take it, I think it is. So, 0.5%, then the oil is supposed to be sour, SOUR. If the content of sulfur is less than 0.5% in the oil, it is supposed to be sweet crude. All right. Now, what do you mean by this sweet crude and sour crude? When you have sweet crude, what happens is you have less of what to say distillation to do. As you know, oil is distilled, isn't it? And at various degrees and various parts of the distillation, you have different kinds of produce. Last comes the lubricants. Before that, I think, comes the kerosene. You can uh, Shita, you can find out in that distillation process. They tell you, like, I think kerosene comes one of the last things, and last you get that residue, which is used as lubricants. All right. Now, what happens is, suppose India has oil, then we will compare it to Dubai crude. Okay. And if we say that our oil has less sulfur content than the Dubai crude, then our oil will be selling at a higher price than the Dubai crude. Why? Less of distillation needs to be done in that oil, and that is why it is better to buy an oil that is sweet crude rather than sour crude. Sour crude has more distillation process, so more examples. All good morning. So Ravish, good morning. Now you understood. So now I was talking to you about factor conditions, and I was talking to you about the bargaining power of a nation when they have different factor conditions. For that, I gave you the example of crude oil. I explained to you what is crude oil, how it becomes sweet crude and sour crude, that is 0.5%, the sulfur content in the oil. And then I told you some benchmark oils. I talked to you about OPEC, Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. Then, and OPEC, how does OPEC also is a benchmark oil. How does OPEC, now there were 11 countries. How does OPEC make? It's a basket of oils, all right? It's a basket of oils, OPEC. Now, why was OPEC formed? That's one important thing. OPEC was formed to control the supply, not only the price. See, naturally, when you say commodity cartels, we assume that it is necessary, cartel is necessary to control the price at which the member countries are selling their product. It's not only the price class, it is also the supply. Why supply? Why do you restrict or regulate the supply? As I said, suppose OPEC sells a lot of oil to India, or one of the countries of OPEC is a friendly country and they sell a lot of oil to India. What happens is India takes the oil, uses it for industrialization, as I said before. Once we use it for industrialization, industrialization brings money power, and then we use that money power to dig and find more oil in the country, and then we do not need the oil of OPEC anymore. So OPEC doesn't have bargaining power. You understand? So this is why OPEC was formed, to control not only the price, yes, of course, it's a basket of oils, and not only the price, to also control the supply of oil, crude oil in the world. OPEC was extremely powerful, but then Russia and many countries found oil. So the bargaining power of OPEC is not today as strong as it was before. It is certainly there. Every country who has crude oil is very powerful. You know, the barrel, we talk about crude oil in the terms of dollars per barrel. Today, the crude oil has come down, and we have to see when crude oil comes down, a lot of things, the shipping industry, many things are affected. So, we will talk about it in another class. If you are interested, you let me know and talk about it in this thing. Today, I gave you the example of our factor conditions, like how the Gulf, the Persian and the Gulf countries have bargaining power with MNCs because they own oil. So this is the example for factor conditions. Next, demand conditions. I'll compare it with the demand conditions. The demand conditions, I'm comparing it with the same factor conditions. Suppose we have a lot of bananas in a country. Do you think people demand bananas or oil more? Akash, good morning. What do you think people are more in demanding, right? Naturally, they demand oil more, isn't it? How about India and Indian brains for information technology, software, etc.? Yes? Why Infosys is so powerful? Why Wipro is powerful? Why information technology countries are powerful? I mean, firms are powerful. See, you have this ERP, SAP for enterprise resource planning. So SAP is very famous from Siemens and all that. But in India, there are indigenously a lot many companies who have their own ERP software, and firms who cannot afford to buy SAP are using indigenous software, and they're very happy about it. There are many IT firms in India who have developed their own IT, this one, software for ERP. All right. So you know ERP, I have explained to you. It combines all the this thing. Instead of using 20 windows, you use one window, and whenever you, good morning, Masood. Whenever you put in, see, if you all have missed my class, if you all have come in now, please go and see, because I have explained some important examples. So, what was I saying? Demand conditions. So which one would you demand, bananas or oil? Oil, naturally, isn't it? So demand conditions. Then you come to related and supporting industries. Now yesterday I gave you one example of automobile, India becoming an automobile manufacturing hub. And I told you, in Tamil Nadu, when one multinational company, automobile company, went and started a manufacturing unit, there were a lot of young entrepreneurs who got onto the bandwagon and started manufacturing. They became OEMs. Yesterday, somehow I forgot the E. OEM is original equipment manufacturer. Sorry. Maybe didn't eat carbs in the morning. Carbs is a brain food, isn't it? So I forgot the E, or I'm getting old. Both is true. So, original equipment manufacturers. What is an original equipment manufacturer? In a car, the all the parts of the car, um, all the parts of the car are not manufactured by the automobile manufacturer. They are manufactured by the automotive industry. That is the parts and the ancillaries, auxiliaries, whatever you say, from the automotive industry. Okay, so suppose it so happened, not suppose, it really happened in our country when the first automobile manufacturer, Hyundai, I think, went into Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu people started small scale industries in support of the automobile. They all in the automotive sector, Someone did fenders, someone did the front screen, yeah, windscreen, no, and someone did the wipers, so, someone did the seats, etc. So these are original equipment manufacturers, meaning they manufacture an equipment that goes right into the brand new car. All right. So these OEMs were supporting industries, supporting automotive sector industries for the automobile industry. So if you have related and supporting industries, so what happened? The manufacturer will see here. What happens is, since one automobile manufacturer is there, and the relating and supporting industries have developed, the Tamil Nadu got again Volkswagen and Peugeot, I think. They all went there. You can just Google and see. I cannot remember. Three or four automobile manufacturers are now in Tamil Nadu only because, not only, mainly because of the related and supporting industries. So when there are related and supporting industries, this one, no, automobile industry naturally comes in. Yes, Paryali, good morning. So, similarly, if you see in India, we have in Bangalore, for example, we are the IT city of the world. So, you have a lot of techies, IT techies, and people with knowledge of IT, software, etc., and ITS, etc. So, it is comfortable for an MNC to come and base itself in Bangalore. Similarly, in Hyderabad, for example, you have a similar support system in Hyderabad. So there we are. We have so this is the example for related and supporting industries. Then the last one is firm strategy, structure, and rivalry. I in strategic management you will have learned about it, so I will not go into this. And also I have taught you in marketing the attack strategy, the defense strategy, and all kinds. And as I go on, I will also tell you different examples for how firms have strategic strategies as per the situation. All right, I'll tell you one example here. Daewoo has no operations in India now. If I'm not Daewoo, yeah. Um, the Kia is the second largest, followed by the first one is I forgot. Kia is the second largest manufacturer of automobiles in from South Korea. The largest, I forgot. Sorry, I'll let you know tomorrow. Somehow I forgot. Never mind. Now, see, Daewoo wanted to go and start its operations in Poland, right? IBM also wanted to go and start similar operations in Poland. What happened is Daewoo offered to Poland will see the condition of Poland as a country. Poland was communist till 1989 when Glasnost happened, and USSR broke up into Russia and 13 different countries like Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, etc. All right. So here we are. What happens is, hmm, yeah, Devu went and offered to the Polish. Poland was this thing and communist, and then when suddenly they stopped being communist, the country had it wasn't very rich and it wasn't very industrialized, so it was looking for help where some where industries could started. It naturally looked for its own economic development. So in this case, what happens is Poland was approached by Daewoo and they said, we'll establish a factory here and we will give you access to the distribution strategies. All right. So when there was a win-win situation, the Polish government took Daewoo It gave preference to Daewoo rather than IBM because Daewoo offered a win-win strategy. All right. Seeing the thing. Now I gave you the example of the Shelby Cobra replica. Remember Shelby Cobra replica. When the Shelby Cobra replica they wanted to manufacture it, they went to Poland, and the Polish government, they wanted a industry where which understood the aluminium body, and what better than the airplane sector. So there was a factory in Poland which was unused, and before that, what was the factory about? Making fighter planes for the war, Second World War. So the Polish government offered these Thomas and David Kirkham, these brothers, that factory. And what David and Thomas did is they gave employment to a lot of people in that village. It is said in one book, the entire village they gave employment. So you must think MNCs, the strategy of MNC would be to offer jobs to people mainly. All right. How when they come as foreign direct investment and establish a company in the this thing establish a manufacturing unit, then what happens is the people in that country get jobs. So this is what we are looking for. So I have explained all the four factors that you see here. Let's go ahead. I will this factor conditions, demand conditions, and all I've already explained. So let us go into trade barriers. All right. This is very easy. You just look at it. Trade barriers, non-trade barriers. Non-trade barriers are important too. Quotas, bans. All right. Let's go to dumping. Dumping is selecting a product at prices below production cost. All right. WTO allows anti-dumping laws, etc. This no is very important to be discussed in the class. Look at the non-tariff barriers, administrative barriers, production subsidies, emergency import protection, foreign sales corporation. This is simple. You can see this embargoes, boycotts, technical standards, corruption. Technical standards I gave you about the nickel in the eating plates. Corruption, barriers to service trade. We'll end with this. All right. So close the slide. Come to international business trade theories that I sent you yesterday. All right. I think we have finished this. Let me just see. Yeah, I have finished this. Oh, I came to the same one. I'm sorry. Come to the investment theories, please. International investment theories. Okay. Now we are talking about FDI. Why does it occur? Now, we are talking about firstly why a firm wants to have FDI, wants to go into a country of operations in the form of FDI. The first one is ownership advantages theory. Yeah. See, instead of renting, if you can buy or you can establish your own manufacturing unit, it has its own pros, isn't it? The cons are there, but the pros. Then, for example, you imagine you have your own people and who are salaried, and they will do all the transaction costs for negotiating, monitoring, enforcing a contract is done in house by employees, as versus taking employees on a contract basis from the country. Taking employees on a contract basis on a country is expensive. Secondly, there's no follow up. If your employees know the contract number one, contract number two also, they know what happened to contract number one. But if you take people on project wise, do this contract for me. Say you go to a lawyer's firm and say, do this for me, and they'll do it. Next time, if that lawyer's firm for contract number two, if that lawyer's firm is not available, what happens? Then you have no follow up. You'll have to explain what happened in contract number one for the contract number two, and all such things. For example, this is just an example. And also, it's more expensive to take them on project wise. International production will be internalized. Internalized means in within the firm, the people who are employed will do it. All right. Now, for example, not only the transaction cost, the manufacturing techniques also. Toyota has manufacturing techniques which cannot be copied. It has to be implemented there. So Toyota has come into India with Kirloskar in Bidigi, and they prefer to manufacture in India rather than bring their cars, etc. Eclectic theory. John Dunning makes this eclectic theory. It talks about three things: location advantage, ownership advantage, and internalization advantage. Please note it is not internationalization. I think somewhere there is a spelling mistake. It's an internalization. This one, internalization. Factors influencing foreign direct investments are supply, demand, political, and environmental factors. We'll go and see what it is. Supply factors. Supply factors are production costs, labor, plant, property, equipment, taxes, raw material. Is it better to produce in your country and bring the product here? Or is it better to manufacture in the country? We'll naturally take our country because we know much about our country rather than another foreign country. How about labor costs as compared to a foreign country? Labor costs are much very much cheaper in our country as compared to a Western country. You know, it is very much cheaper. Somehow, somewhere I had given you an chart, I think, how this for the same labor, how Indians are paid as compared to other. Actually, good morning. How Indians are paid as compared to foreigners. All right. So naturally, then equipment, taxes, raw material. How about okay, thanks, Ashley. How about now we're talking about the production cost, labor I spoke about. How about plant and property? If our Indian property is much cheaper, you can think about buying property in the US rather than in India. You can compare, isn't it? Equipment naturally is available in India. Taxes are cool, of course, and government is considering a lot. I will talk about FDI and what our government has been doing as I go on. Then you talk about raw material. Water is there in India. Electricity is there, isn't it? In fact, there was a ethical issue about Coca-Cola using the water. Now, Coca-Cola has said that 75% of the water it uses, they recycle. Now, according to my knowledge, see, I have, if you see behind me, you can see my water. It's a reverse osmosis water supplier, whatever you call it. Yeah, it's an AquaGuard one. So there, what happens is, sadly, if I need one bottle of water, 1:3 bottles of water get wasted. That means 75% of the water is recycled, isn't it? This water that is recycled is heavy with minerals. It can be used for plants. All right. So naturally, I can boast of recycling 75% of the water I used. Am I right? Am I wrong? Think about it. It is for you to think. When I come to class, these ethical issues we will do in the class. Now, taxes, raw materials. We have plenty of water. Indian government, we have this tech sock and but I forget that. We have in Kanij Bhavan, there is a organization. I had one of my students working there. They are a one-stop window for all FDI in Karnataka. It's a very useful and beautiful concept. I will remember the name of the organization and tell you tomorrow. Somehow I'm forgetting it now. So taxes are cool, not so bad when you compare it with American taxes or European Union taxes. Equipment is available. There are people who can build the equipment if they cannot be purchased or imported. Then what about logistics, transportation costs? See, the cheapest transportation cost for any industry is waterways. All right, the cheapest is waterways. We have rivers in India, and secondly, the second cheapest is transportation by railways. Look at the railway network in our country. We have huge railway network, so naturally, the whatever goods need to be transported, even heavy ones, can be transported by railways. Imagine you're transporting small quantity, not very bulky goods. Then you want to transport by air. We have airways. We have. See, I want to tell you something. In August, I flew from Bangalore to Trichy. All right. Now there were no planes to Trichy. It seems I flew in March to Aurangabad, and they said, "Ma'am, this is only last month that flights began from Bangalore to Aurangabad." That is one thing. Why I'm telling you this is because I want to tell you that the airways connection also has improved very greatly. All right, Indigo. I travel Indigo. Okay, then in fact, when I traveled, I think 2 or 3 times to South India, and then this air hostess recognized me, and then she comes to me and she said, "Ma'am, you have to write something about your experiences to Indigo." And she gives me in the website URL, and she says, "Ma'am, please write something, whatever you want, good or bad, it's up to you." Okay, I did write. As soon as I came back, I did write because she was on that Bangalore to South India. Thing. I can't remember where else I went. Okay, so there. Um, no, I went to Kannur when I was Kannur and Trichy. I think she saw me in that year. Going and coming, I think to Kannur she was there, and once to Trichy she was there. Okay, the connection. What I'm trying to tell you is connection of airways also is extremely good. And one experience I want to share with you to say that the connection is good. I was in the airport and I was waiting. I'm always 1 hour early. I don't like to take the tension of traffic or, oh, I'll miss the flight. Well, this is not what I like to do. So I don't mind. I take my books or my India Today week and sit in the airport and I prefer to read. So what happened is, Babu Reddy, hi. So what happened is, they were boarding. Okay, they were boarding to Trichy. So I went to the thing and he saw my gate pass and says, "Ma'am, this is the 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Sorry, 9 o'clock flight. You're in the next flight." I said, "Wow, Bangalore to Trichy, there are two flights per day." You see the number of people traveling, and there are you see the connectivity. I'm only trying to tell you is, see, in the middle of my class I like to tell you something simple, and I try to tell you my examples because it makes you remember. Okay, stories like this makes you remember when you write your answers or anything. It makes you remember. So here we are. We have airways also. We have waterways if necessary, and railways. One more thing I wanted to tell you. Why do you think Bellary mining people became so powerful with money? Because see, they have to transport huge amount and bulky and heavy product, that was iron ore, and they could do it extremely cheaply because Bellary to Mangalore, anywhere. Okay, Bellary to a port. Say there were trains. So if you see from Bellary, The whole road is, for several 100 kilometers maybe. The area is red with the iron ore that is flying around. So, since they could transport very cheaply, they could sell it at a higher price, and especially there were the Beijing Olympics. Beijing Olympics meant China required iron ore to manufacture steel. So, China gave a very good price, and these people could take the price, but their production costs, that is inclusive of transportation costs, were very cheap. So, they made their money. All right. So this is like logistics. Availability, next, availability of natural resources and access to technology. See, having the computer systems, IT is IT city of the world. Like we are the IT, what they call Silicon City. We are the IT hub of the world of India. Okay, we have competition in Hyderabad and all, but Bangalore is extremely good. So why not Bangalore? That's why outskirts of Bangalore, Bidadi, and Bangalore is so extremely connected, even for people to travel, everything. And we have infrastructure where people can stay. We have beautiful apartments where we all this. So that is why this is the example for supply factors. Demand factors is customer access. Now you are in Bidadi. Easiest is Bangalore, and then the network gives you access to customers all over the world. It takes hardly 2 hours to fly from Bangalore to Delhi, 2.5, I think. Okay, hardly anything. You're in the capital city. You can fly to Mumbai. Mumbai is an hour. All right. And Mumbai is beautiful. You have everything there. Even if you cannot get something in Bangalore, imagine you airlift it from Bangalore to Mumbai, and from Mumbai you can airlift it, and you have the port there. Or go to Mangalore, you have the port there. Yeah, all this is possible. So customer access to customer, where you have to sell your product. You can sell it outside India, you can sell it inside India. That is why manufacturing, car manufacturing, automobile manufacturing firms are setting up in India to manufacture cars to sell in India as well as outside India, and this is a new thing from quite from a few years, and that is why we in India, when we buy a foreign car, and I'm not saying anything about Indian cars. Maruti Suzuki cars are extremely good, and what I'm also saying is that these Hyundai, um, Honda, etc. cars are also world class manufacturing. They go through world class manufacturing, so that when we buy a car, a Honda car, for example, we buy the same car that is sold in a foreign country. So we have access. This is one of the nicer things about the pros of having multinationals in India. Now, next is marketing advantages. Marketing advantages is the similar to that customer access I've been explaining to you. And imagine selling it in Bangalore. One more thing is you can make Bangalore a target market. If you want to sell and do the trial, then Bangalore is an excellent target market. Why? We are a metro city. You have people from North India, South India, Northeast people. You have people in Bangalore from all over the country. Also, you have people from other, like in our department, we have people from so many countries. Madagascar, you have Stella. She would tell you about Madagascar, and then we have Tajikistan, Uzbekistan. Turkmenistan, no? You all are from Turkmenistan and Tajikistan. And then you have South Africa, you have Nigeria, Kenya. They would see, just our department is such a department, multicultural, diversified department. You have, of course, Afghanistan people are saying, "Ma'am forgot us." No, how can I forget you all? Yeah, so we have so many from Afghanistan. We can find. Yeah. So when we want to test a product, If there are people from all over the world and all over the country in Bangalore, why not give the test marketing here? Isn't it? And the results would be really, sampling in Bangalore. A sampling in Bangalore would be as good as sampling all over the world. Sampling in New York City, yeah, we can extrapolate whatever results we get by sampling in Bangalore. We can extrapolate it to all over the world. All right. So next is exploitation of competitive advantages. We can create competitive advantages. Yesterday I spoke to you about competitive advantages. As I reiterate that competitive advantage doesn't come like this. Mr. A is manufacturing pink soap. I will manufacture blue. That is not a competitive advantage. If Mr. A is manufacturing a soap that runs all over your body in a, with remote control, then that is a competitive advantage. Especially your head. If you have a soap that runs all over your head without you scrubbing it would be beautiful. Sorry, jokes apart. Maybe that was not a good example. I'm sorry, but what I'm saying is you should have something that someone else cannot manufacture. Look at the spark plugs by Bosch. Yeah, spark plugs by Bosch. Then that collar you have, no, you have those stiff collars, especially in men's shirts, and you have that little strip inside that is still manufactured only by Madura Coats in Madurai. No one else manufactures it. That's a competitive advantage. The high quality spark plugs of Bosch and miniaturization by Sony. All right. So miniaturizing, you have miniature cameras, etc. by Sony. So many things, like you have the Handycam, you have the Walkman and Discman have lost their this thing thanks to the mobile phone, isn't it? So all this, and then this is exploitation of competitive advantage, preservation of brand names and trademarks. It is necessary. Yeah, I spoke to you in IPRs yesterday, and customer mobility. Whether you can customer mobility means whether you see you target one segment of the market, will another segment also take it? In Bangalore, it is possible. See, I'll give you an example. Of course, I give you example about food because it's easy to remember, and I'm definitely a foodie. Okay, so when I was telling you this, when I first came to from Mangalore, I hadn't traveled much, just some foreign countries with my husband. When I came inside India, and we came to Mysore first. I had attended a wedding where they gave us bisibele bath. Now you know what is bisibele bath. The rice, the dal, the vegetables, the spices are all put together, and it's a lovely. Smells nice, and it's a one dish where you do not. It's a one dish to be made. Hmm? So when I first saw it, I would say, "Ah, God, I am not eating this because someone has, mixed the sambar with my rice." And no, no, no. Let me see my white rice, and then I want the sambar and the vegetables separate. This is how I was used to eating. I was, horrified that someone had mixed and given it to me. Then I realized later on that it's a dish by itself. Being a Mangalorean, I had did not know what was bisibele bath. I didn't know what were baths only. So, different ways of we hardly made lime rice in back home. Lime rice also was, I think, it was made once in 5 years. So I learned that bisibele bath is a delicacy and how it is made. Now I eat the bisibele bath delightfully. I prepare it with elan, and so that's the thing. I have acclimatized to eating bisibele bath. So similarly, there is customer mobility. See, suppose what happens is you Afghani people were buying bread, Afghani bread. I found it lovely, and I said, "Get me some and let me also eat." So this is customer mobility. Not only you, someone else, someone. See, you're a different target segment. Afghani bread was targeted for Afghani people, but then other people also wanted to eat. I too wanted to eat. So customer mobility. the product will be, the target segment can change. All right, you can get a customer base that is not only in your target segment but more also. All right, political factors. Now see, when Honda went to the US, it what it did is it established two manufacturing units, one in I think it's Cincinnati, and one in Canada. Now, why was Honda doing this? It could have manufactured. It had enough, facilities to manufacture it in Europe. It had in five different countries. It has parts of the car manufacturing. You know what it does in five different countries? Four different countries it manufactures. Five different countries it manufactures five different parts, and in the fifth country it assembles the car. Why is this? I'll tell you. Another one is it when Honda it went to Cincinnati and this thing and Canada and established manufacturing facilities there. Why did it manufacture establish the manufacturing facilities there? Because what happens is, see, suppose Honda starts selling, and then as today I read, I'm not very sure, but they say out of every five cars sold in the US, four cars are Japanese. Why are Japanese cars sold? Now, Japanese cars are more fuel efficient, all right? Gives you more mileage, all right, as compared to American cars. This is what, this is statistics from what I have read. But at least, if not 100%, 80% of it is true. Now, if you see, um, Volkswagen has a car which says it emits only 106 milligrams of carbon per liter. But there is a problem with this car. The not with the problem with the car. The thing is, this one, which they say is one of the least emitting cars, is a diesel car. Now, diesel cars emit particulate matter. Particulate matter comes from particulate matter 1 to particulate matter 10. Now, this particulate matter can be that something that gets caught in your nose and you sneeze it out. Or it can be, see, 1 to 10, I told you, or it can be so fine that you don't know that you breathe it. It goes into your system, it mixes with the blood and forms clotting of the blood in places that you do not need it, like your heart or your kidney or whatever vital organs. See, I don't want to say vital organs or anything because I'm not a medical doctor. I'm a doctor, but not a medical doctor. So, what I want to say is this particulate matter can be either that big enough to sneeze, big but small for you to sneeze by getting caught in the nose, or it can be very fine in the pollution that you take it in and it mixes with your blood and causes clotting, etc., etc., as you go on. So, this is what I want to say about. Wait, we were talking about, okay, we were talking about Volkswagen and the least emitting car, 106 mg, 106 mg per liter, and but it is a diesel car, whereas Honda has a car which emits only 102 mg per liter, and that is not questioned by. So far it is the best car. All right. Okay, so now we are talking about avoidance of trade barriers, and I was telling you why Honda went and established there. Now, see, given all the factors that I have explained about Honda, you may one second. Our Karnakama unnecessary Nakama, please. So, what happens is, suppose Honda manufactures a car in Japan, brings it to America in a CKD condition, and sells in America. What happens is, when Honda sells so many cars, then America will say that, oh, a foreigner is selling more cars and in our country, and our country manufacturers are getting, not getting so much sales thanks to a foreign manufacturer. then they will put some entry barriers in the form of tariffs, taxes, etc. So when Honda brings car parts into the country, then it becomes more expensive, and the cars, Honda's cars, become more expensive as compared to American cars in America. So the sales will fall. So, what happens when you say manufacture in Japan or anywhere else and bring it into the country? You are liable to pay tariffs and taxes on those cars, maybe non-tariff barriers like quotas, bans, whatever. So, when you manufacture within the country, you're manufacturing, you become an American car. Though your brand is, though you're Japanese, it's a Japanese car manufactured in America. So no tariffs and taxes will apply. Whatever tariffs and taxes apply are same as American cars. So your rates become competitive. Do you understand? So this is the meaning for avoidance of trade barriers. Economic development incentives. Now I have told you example of Daewoo. I've told you example of the Shelby Cobra replica. So these are the examples for the same examples for this. Environmental factors, environmentally sensitive. Now, what happens is I told you about extraterritoriality example, the shrimps or the prawns being sold, being imported by America from India and four other countries. How they said that turtles were dying and they have to make turtle friendly nets if they are doing shrimp this thing in shrimp fishing in India, and then the WTO courts ruled that they cannot dictate what in extraterritorial waters. So Indian waters are 200 nautical miles from all the coast of India. So throughout the coast. So what we do here is none of their business. This is what we told. But environmentally sensitive issues we have to take care. We have to, a multinational has to be careful about emitting, effluents into the air or into the ground, etc. See, our country, sadly, the laws are not strictly enforced. If you go into Belindur area, you will see the foam of the, dirty water on the road. It is horrifying, and we being Bangaloreans, we are doing nothing about it. I'm also sitting here and talking. I have done anything. I have passed by in the foam. The car has passed by in the foam. When I go for this inspection, LIC visits, no, with other members of the university. And we have gone through foam also, and we have done nothing about it. We have just said, "Oh my God," at that point, and forgotten after that. So, accusation of pollution, how much do we carry on? We have very strong groups who take care of the animals. We have groups which have stopped cutting of trees. Now there are like this, so depends. You have to see, how strong those groups are in that country. See, we are talking about business and how we can profit. So we have to see on that area, and connection with the government, protest from locals. If the protest from locals is so strong, you may have to leave the country. So all this environmental factors. Then we come to political factors. Okay, I think I've done with that. It went wrong. Okay, then you have other real reasons and all that. Sometimes various country factors create international business opportunities. You can see the slide. I have already talked a lot about it. I want to go and talk to you about FDI. Please take the today's PowerPoint. Unfortunately, though I named it, it didn't somehow I did not was not able to save it. It's a new Microsoft PowerPoint. Please open it. We are talking about FDI and what is FDI and why is FDI required in India. Kindly open it. We are in the second slide. Okay, FDI is an investment by foreign individuals or companies, naturally, into business. Is not into business. It could be just trade, buying and selling of goods, capital markets, where it's only money concerned, and then or production in the host country. where they produce in the host country and sell. Foreign direct investment policy in India is regulated under FEMA 2000 and administered by the RBI. Now there are some routes to enter and all that, FIPB and all that, that you can just look into internet. It doesn't matter. FDI in India, they say, foreign minister has said, has risen to 284 billion during 2014 to 19. FDI has increased to US dollar 284 billion. Nirmala Sitharaman, our finance minister, said in while presenting the union budget of 2021. Now, why am I talking about 284 billion? Why is 284 billion important for us? We will discuss. Which are the sectors that attract FDI more? Telecommunications. Please see your slides. Telecommunications, services, and computer software. Please, I'll reiterate, telecommunications, services, and computer software were the top areas attracting FDI during the first quarter of 2020. Okay, current issues there. The total inflows into all sectors increased by 28% to 16.33 billion according to government figures of September 5, 2019. Excuse me a minute, I'll just close the door. All right. Okay. Right. So September 5, 2020. The government has see what has the government of India done? The government to improve the FDI. The government of India has amended FDI policy in order to increase the FDI inflow. In 2014, the government increased. Watch your this thing. Foreign investment upper limit to from 26% to 49% in the insurance sector. All right. So, see, for example, you have a quota. You cannot come so much in that particular sector. If 100% is Indian, out of which how much can out of this say 100% are there in the insurance? 100, so it could be investment. Say $100 are invested by everybody in India in the insurance sector or the insurance sector, out of which 26% could be foreigners. Now it became 49%. All right. It launched in September 14, Make in India initiative, which FDI policy for 25 sectors were liberalized further. So, as you know, FDI. When I was studying the FDI, clearly remember this. The one of the this thing main uh, one of the main definitions was that at least 10% of the investment should be sunk in the infrastructure of the country. And I always told you, FDI increases the GFCF, gross fixed capital formation, GFCF, gross fixed capital formation of the country. Suppose a factory is built by a MNC and some roads are built in order for logistics, or maybe some water sourcing facilities are built, and then the MNC needs to leave the country. It cannot take with it all that it built, isn't it? And whether it uses or Indian uses or they use, the gross fixed capital formation is improved, isn't it? A road improves is added to the total infrastructure of the country. Building adds to the total infrastructure of the country. So GFCF rises. All right, 25 sectors were liberalized further. India received, see, these are statistics that I cannot remember. I have to see and tell you. Look at the next slide. India received US dollar 27.2 billion foreign investment in the first half of 2019, and the pace is said to have sustained further. All right, meaning the it's going on and it's improving. FDI is important as India would require huge investments in the coming years to overhaul its infrastructure sector to boost growth. This is what the news is of December 31, 2019. Now, this is from Times of India. All right, Times of India website. Now, it says, why does, now we are going into an important thing. Why does India require FDI? A stable government, stable government, strong and economic growth, robust domestic demand, economic reforms, and a young workforce are some of the reasons that FDI investment is growing in India. Yeah, I told you in my class day before yesterday, I think we have a stable government, extremely stable government in India. If you see from 1947 till today, all our governments have completed 5 years except twice. I think that was during the emergency time in the late 1970s. Except twice, in this 70 years of independence, all our governments have completed their term of 5 years. If this is not stable, what is? Isn't it? So, a stable government, and we have seen strong economic growth. Our rate of economic growth is, is increasing every year. Robust domestic demand, given the industrialization, etc., in our country, we Indians have more purchasing power. We have better salaries. Yeah. See, I'm a government employee, semi-government employee, and my salary has, in the past 20 years, it has had exponential growth. And this is because of the total growth of the country. If Indian growth was not so much, my salary wouldn't have been so much. It has a e to the power x growth, my salary has got compared to what I used to earn in 1998. So, how is it possible? All government salaries have improved. This is because of a stable government and strong economic growth. All right. So is the private sector. Private sector also has improved greatly. So people have more salary means they have more purchasing power. All right. That's why when they have more purchasing power, you have robust domestic demand. You see how, let's take the example of Amazon. How Amazon has come and it is flourishing in India because of the growth. Why has Amazon flourished more? Because it has from pin to gun everything that we require. The most wonderful thing about Amazon that I found out a couple of months ago was Amazon Fresh. Whatever vegetable I require, I do not need to go, even see, at least vegetable I needed to go before. Now, even the vegetable I don't need to go. And reasonable vegetable, well, neatly packed, ozone washed, I think, comes to my house. So even the greens, without the, you have to bring the greens home, cut off the roots and the mud, and you have, these things are. Then you have to clean whatever mud has fallen on your kitchen table, and then you have to store. But here you get all the without the mud, you only the leaves that you just put it in salt water, then you put it washed in your 2 3 washes of clean water, and you can cook. So and it is packed individually that you can straight away put into your fridge. So this ease, why does this ease come? This ease comes from research and development that Amazon has obviously done about what people want in India. All right. Also, you have Nature's Basket. You have Godrej Nature Basket, Nature's Basket. Then you have the Big Basket, etc., etc. So they are all based on the concept of what the customer wants, what kind of comfort and ease that the customer wants. So, economic reforms of the country, also a young workforce. As I told you, I don't remember which year it is, that the median age of India is 33.2 years, which makes 50% of Indians younger than 33.2 and 50% of Indians older than 33.2. So naturally, if half the Indian population is less than 33.2 years, And imagine the number of people available for work. So, young workforce. Take a note of all this: stable government, strong economic growth, robust domestic demand, economic reforms, and a young workforce are some of the reasons that FDI investments are growing in India. All right, foreign investors are betting on India as a long-term investment. Now, class, what is the time? The time is 11:22. God, I didn't. I think I have to say bye to you. This is a very interesting topic, and FDI is very important for you. Not only as MBAs for your exam and MBAs as decision-making people, as managers in your career, and also as Indians to understand why FDI is necessary in India, how FDI is tackled in India. Also, for your when you enter, when you go for your jobs, for your discussion, group discussion, FDI is necessary. I do not want to wind up here. I'll talk to you tomorrow again about FDI. I have given you the slides. We'll discuss these same slides tomorrow. There is a lot to discuss. Okay, class, I have to say bye. We shall overcome, right? We shall overcome this COVID virus, isn't it? India will defeat it, and we are part of the system which will defeat it. Please stay at home. You are wonderful people, all my students who have stayed at home. You have contributed to breaking the chain. Congratulations, pat your backs. All of you, you have contributed. And let us, as a people, as an Indian government, as a Indian people, support the government for what they're doing. And yesterday I was reading something. India has locked down very early, very decisive and visionary decision by the our governments and our people, Prime Minister especially. He has done a wonderful thing by locking us down very soon. So, you know, our calamity or the is rate is not so much. Thanks be to God. Okay, so stay safe, stay at home, stay only social, keep the social distancing, smile, be cheerful, smile, everybody. I know you give me big smiles. Yeah, so smile, everybody. I'll come on at 10 a.m. tomorrow. I heard that seniors uh, have only my class. Something will be arranged. Don't worry. Sir is on it, I think. Okay. God bless you. Hum honge kamyab. We shall overcome. Yes. Yes, strong people. Love you all. God bless. Bye bye.